Hey, beautiful. Would you believe me if I told you that you're not eloquent? Would you believe me if I told you that time is not up? Would you believe me if I told you that God called you to this purpose, to this season, to your family, to the city, whatever it is, that the space that God has called you to occupy? He didn't need you to be approved to call you there. He approves the call. And it doesn't matter who other people think or say you are, as long as God affirms you. That's the only applause that you're out here for. Would you believe me if I told you that all the things that you need are already on the inside of you, and that your everyday life is supposed to help develop you to be the person that you are? Everything that you experience, past, present, future, every call that you have on your life, every mandate that is for you, God has already equipped you. He's already positioned you in the right place. Whether you see that place in lack or you see it in abundance, it's not about what you see, it's how you see it, right? Perspective is everything. If you don't see yourself right, or if you don't see the person who created you right, then you're kind of going to find yourself stuck. You're not going to be in the right position. You're not going to have the right authority. You're not going to be able to be positioned for greatness. It's going to hold you back. Every single season that you go into that you don't see properly, it ends up delaying the call on your life. It ends up delaying the things that God called you to. And all that does, it doesn't stop the purpose on your life, but it does keep you in a place of choosing to lack focus, choosing to lack the ability or the capability to position yourself. You end up stressing over things that are actually things that help you, or obstacles that develop you and train you to be exactly who God called you to be. And instead of tripping over the things that God placed before you, or He used to develop you, invite Him into the process with you. Ask Him, God, what do you want me to do with this situation? God, you put me in this crazy job, right? And this crazy job, this boss is so nasty. All he's doing is training your development. All he's doing is training your ability to be assertive. All he's doing is training you and seeing how bad you want the things that you prayed for. And that doesn't mean that they're going to be easy. Just because He placed you there doesn't mean that the circumstance is going to be optimal in your perspective in regard to how you see it, right? It doesn't have to be a pretty situation for it to be called by God. It doesn't have to be the greatest setting for God. God has His best training with the ugliest situations. But the reason we always fail to show up in them is because our perspective is jaded. Because we don't choose to invite Him in the process with us to give us practical structure, practical systems, to help us on our journey. And what it ends up doing is causing delay. It derails you. It ends up leaving you in a place of feeling stuck until you finally come to the end of yourself and you say, hey, you know what? I need God's help here. You know what? I didn't create myself. I actually have a creator. So I actually should tune into Him to find out what He says about this circumstance. Once we surrender our lives to God, He gives us the blueprint as soon as we prioritize Him. I'm not saying that make your relationship with God transactional. What I am saying is it is a beneficial relationship. Not only is it beneficial for your overall compass, but it's beneficial for your spirit. You can be going through the hardest stuff in your life. Just because it's hard doesn't mean that you can't get through it. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you can't function normally in your life. You'll have moments of breakdown, moments where you feel like, what is this? But as long as you bring those moments to God and you don't try to handle them in your own strength, meaning you're not trying to be stronger than you're supposed to be. We're humans. We have human emotions, and hurt hurts. It hurts. Disappointment is striking. And these things are not things, we're not robotic. We're not supposed to move through life as if we don't have emotions. We're just not supposed to be led by them. So in any circumstance, choose God. He'll give you the blueprint. He'll give you instructions. Your job is to obey. People say stuff like faith without work is dead, but they think that they're supposed to do the work. You know where the real work is? in your ability to obey, in your ability to choose God, in your ability to sit with him every day, to let him unpack the things that you're going through, your ability to let him search your heart, make your mind clear, heal you from trauma that you've experienced, and you actually look at things the wrong way. Doesn't mean the things that happen to you, the circumstances you find yourself, are not bad, right? But it doesn't mean that they have to shape you in a negative way. The hardest things in life can shape you better than a college degree. I still believe in education, very much so. However, some of us graduated from a totally different school, and it's called life. And it's equipped us with things, systems, strategy, perspectives, outlooks that nobody ever has. Some of us could actually teach on things that people go to college for and get doctorates just from our lives. But the thing God does is he uses those things. The thing the enemy does is he tries to cripple us in those things. He tries to make us feel like we're unfit. He tries to make us feel as though we don't belong, we're not enough. That the things that we experience because our mindset wasn't good, that it doesn't equip us to tell another person don't do that. It doesn't give us the ability to speak from a place of wisdom because it doesn't have a doctoral degree behind it. That's not true. Be who God called you to be. Walk in the discernment and the authority that he called you to. Knock down the doors that were meant to close you in, and show people and show this world who God is through your life. Show up every single day. It'll get better and better. It doesn't matter what you've been through. Those things were set to equip you, not to cripple you. Bye, beautiful.